At the end of this 7 year cycle, which is beautiful, by the way, we then have another shift. This one will be a complete restructuring, but it's not like the equal and opposite of what we had before, right? So the first 7 years we're going forward, and then all of a sudden the next 7 years it like flips it on its head. Well, that third set of 7 years, so like 20, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, okay? That third group of years, this is about really elevating and making things work better, okay? It would be like, if someone was able to go into the government of the United States and say, "All right, guys, we've been building systems on top of systems on top of systems since, 1700s, so or 1800, you know what I mean? So, let's do a fresh start. We're not going to like blow it up or anything, but let's take the next 5 years, let's have these committees go in and look at the government from top to bottom, restructure it like a corporation would, do some restructuring to where it runs better, it makes more sense, there's less redundancy, that kind of stuff." So the next 7 years is really beautiful. Like it's finding a new passion, getting like deeper into who you really are. It's a blank slate, which is kind of cool because it's a fresh start, but not because we're desperate for one. It's a fresh start in a really special way. It's all about the transformative power in love and in personal identity and in partnership. Like it's about us being able to see love in action and show the world. So 31 to 37, I think, is where the world starts to shift to. Okay. 2024 to 2030, the next 7 years, we will be basically dealing with the fallout from 2020 that if people had just let it all happen, we could have been done with this a couple years ago. But because we were just holding on to the old, ugh, it's tough. But after that, now we get into this new century. And that might sound weird, but remember, think about the timeline from January to December. The first 3 months of the year, you're looking at energies really from the previous year because you're still kind of in that. So that's why we still accidentally write the previous year going pretty deep into January, February. You might write, the date from last year instead of this year. It's really in April, all the way kind of into like September, that you get the bulk of the energy for that year. You feel like you're in it. And then by October, November, December, you're already in next year. It's holiday season. You're just like, all right, this year's almost over anyways. And it really flies by. So October to December, we're already in the next year. So in the same way, if you look at this cycle or these seasons that we have, if you think about 100 years, like a century, for the first like 30 years of it, you're kind of in the previous one, you know? And in the last 30 years of it, you're kind of in the next one. That's why many of us grew up with so much futuristic. Everybody was like, what's the 2000s going to be like? And then we spent what? The first 20 years of it going, oh, there's still no flying cars. That's not what we thought it was going to be. And so you see, I tell you this so that you understand there's still an overlap of energies. That's the whole reason we have what's called a wave. I might have experienced something very specific in 2017, and I could lay out the story from beginning to end and have a client come to me and repeat that story in exactly their own words, their own thing, their situation, but it matches mine. But it happened for them in 2022. That's a wave of energy. That same flow came in and said, now you, now you, now you're going to go through this.